Breaking news! The atmosphere is heating up behind the scenes at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I have some crucial developments to share with you all. We know the Steelers are gunning for a Super Bowl appearance, and for that to happen, General Manager Omar Khan and head coach Mike Tomlin need to assemble a roster stacked with proven talent. I'm going to break it all down for you right now. But before we go any further, make sure you smash that like button if you've been riding with the Steelers for more than 20 years. It's always inspiring to see fans of every generation supporting the black and gold. And if you really mean it, drop a comment that says, "Go Steelers! My heart bleeds black and gold." Now let's get right to it. Steelers Nation woke up to a jarring headline. George Pickens, our top wide receiver, our star, the heart of the passing attack, is being traded. And not just anywhere. The destination? Dallas. That's right. George Pickens is heading to the Cowboys in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick. And just to make it sting a little more, we're sending a 2027 sixth-rounder along with him. The move, confirmed by multiple reputable outlets and echoed by Cowboys and NFL channels, is official. And let me tell you, Steelers fans are reeling. You might be asking, why would Pittsburgh part ways with their best offensive weapon just as he's entering his prime? The answer is complicated, but it starts with money. This is typically the time when players like Pickens get their big extensions. But when Pittsburgh traded a second-round pick for DK Metcalf and handed him a massive $30 million per year deal, the writing may have been on the wall. It could have been a message from the front office, DK is our guy now. If Pickens wanted similar money, and all signs suggest he did, the Steelers weren't ready to meet him there. Now, trading a young, elite receiver like Pickens for future picks might seem baffling, especially when those picks won't help the team in the 2024 season. There's no denying it. Pickens had over 900 receiving yards last year and was by far the team's most productive receiver. With him and DK Metcalf on the field, we were dreaming of an offensive duo that could dominate for years. But the Steelers blinked first. Whether it was the contract dispute, internal frustrations with the quarterback situation, or just a desire to move on from another potentially disgruntled receiver, they pulled the trigger. And let's be honest, this isn't the first time we've seen Pittsburgh handle things this way. From Antonio Brown to Martavis Bryant to Chase Claypool to Deontay Johnson, the Steelers have a long history of cutting ties with talented receivers before giving them big second contracts. In some cases, it's worked. In others, we've looked back and wondered, what could have been? So what does this mean for the team right now? It means the wide receiver room, which had finally looked complete with the addition of DK Metcalf, is back to being a work in progress. Calvin Austin, who's more of a slot gadget guy than a true WR2, now slides up in the depth chart. Yes, the team added Robert Woods and undrafted rookie Rock Taylor out of Memphis, but let's be real, none of those guys replaced the talent, explosiveness, and proven production that George Pickens brought to the table. On top of that, our quarterback situation is still murky. Last year, there was buzz around names like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. This year, it's Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, Skylar Thompson, and a huge question mark named Aaron Rodgers. Nothing is certain at the most important position in football, and now the team's best weapon in the passing game is gone. Fans are rightfully confused. Is this a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain? Or is this simply a front office gamble that could cost the Steelers another shot at real playoff contention? Because while DK Metcalf is a great receiver, parting with Pickens now leaves us in a situation not much better than last year, maybe even worse, considering the step back in quarterback stability. And the timing of the trade couldn't be more questionable. We're coming off a draft where the opportunity to use those picks was missed, because they're for future years. If you're the rest of the AFC North right now, you're breathing a sigh of relief. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, they've all got to be feeling a bit better about facing the Steelers this season, especially if Aaron Rodgers decides not to suit up. Now don't get me wrong, there's still a glimmer of hope. Maybe this is part of a bigger plan. Maybe there's another trade brewing, or a surprise signing coming our way. Arthur Moats, who covered this move in depth, said it best, "This feels like a chess move. The kind where the front office might be sacrificing a major piece now to make a bigger move later. Could it be Amari Cooper, Alan Lazard, or even a blockbuster like Tyreek Hill? We don't know yet, but they need to act fast if they want to keep fans from turning cynical. For now, though, the fact remains, George Pickens is no longer a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that's going to take some time to process. Because even if this works out in the long run, right now it feels like a big step back for the offense, and a risky bet on uncertain future value over a player who was delivering results right now. What do you think, Steelers Nation? Was this a smart move for the future, or a huge mistake in the present? Let me know in the comments, and if you're ready for the second part of this breakdown, just say the word and I'll dive right back in. The George Pickens trade has undoubtedly shaken the Steelers' foundation, and now that the dust is starting to settle, we have to look at this from every possible angle. Because what's becoming crystal clear is that this move wasn't just about one player, it was about the culture, the philosophy, and the long-term direction of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And whether you love it or hate it, this is a defining moment for Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin. Let's start with the compensation. A third-round pick in 2026 and a fifth-rounder in 2027 might sound like decent value on paper. But that's the thing, paper doesn't win football games. What we gave up was real, tangible production. George Pickens was the type of receiver who could change a game with one play. His blend of size, athleticism, and swagger made him a matchup nightmare. And while some critics will point to his occasional inconsistency or his frustration with the quarterback carousel, there's no denying his impact on the field. He wasn't just a contributor, he was a cornerstone. So now, the question becomes, how do you replace that? The answer is, you probably don't, not with just one move. Maybe not even with two. Because while DK Metcalf is an absolute beast and brings his own elite skill set, you didn't bring him in to replace Pickens. You brought him in to pair with him. And now that tandem is gone before it ever got a chance to play a single snap together. Steelers fans had every reason to be excited when DK landed in Pittsburgh. Visions of a dominant WR duo, stretching defenses and creating opportunities downfield, were lighting up social media and sports talk shows. It was supposed to be the spark that finally took the offense to the next level. Instead, it's become a confusing riddle. What's the plan here? And that leads us to the bigger issue, the quarterback situation. Because everything the Steelers are trying to do offensively hinges on who's throwing the football. Right now, the depth chart includes Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson. Rodgers is still a question mark. So when you subtract a weapon like Pickens and don't have a proven, stable quarterback in place, it just feels like the offensive identity is in limbo. Let's also not overlook the potential locker room implications. When you trade a player like Pickens, especially if he didn't request the trade, it sends a message. And the message is this: no one is untouchable, not even your best young star. That might sound like a firm, culture-driven approach, and maybe it is. But it also risks sending a chill through the locker room. Players are watching. They see what happens to guys who speak up, guys who want their worth recognized, guys who wear their heart on their sleeve. And while nobody is saying the Steelers shouldn't have a standard, this move walks a fine line between discipline and disillusionment. Now, for fans wondering what could come next, yes, there are options on the table. Free agents like Amari Cooper, recently released players like Gabe Davis, or even disgruntled trade targets like Tyreek Hill. But none of them are locks. None of them are guaranteed. And even if you add one or two of those names, you're still piecing things together in real time, trying to manufacture chemistry and cohesion in an offense that, frankly, needs answers fast. It's worth noting the Steelers' history with receivers. This team knows when to move on. We've seen it with Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Martavis Bryant, Deontay Johnson, the list goes on. And more often than not, the Steelers do land on their feet. But George Pickens felt different. He felt like the next great one. And the fear isn't just about losing his talent. It's about whether we're about to enter another cycle of rebuild on the fly, a dangerous place to be in the hyper-competitive AFC North. Let me know in the comments. Go Steelers!